story of the High Elf's Spellsword. The High Elf was born in Skyrim in Windhelm. His father had been killed by Nords for being a High Elf, so his mother raised him. He was bullied from a young age as he did not fit in because he was an elf. Each day he would run to his mother and she would tell him he was safe and strong and to ignore the Nord people as they did not understand his true power and knowledge. He would think of the power and knowledge that he was supposed to know about each day, and he continued with these thoughts for many years. He was on his usual path home from getting supplies when he was surrounded by a group of Nords who each wore bits of blue cloth of the Stormcloak Rebellion. He knew that today was going to be particularly painful. There was 5, maybe 6 men today. He wasn't sure if one was directly behind him or not. From a distance he could see the women that would always watch as he was beaten up. However, today was different. He felt different. He was stopped by one of the men. They raised a fist and swung. However, the man's fist hit nothing. The High Elf dodged to the side. Today he would fight back. The Nord looked infuriated and as a result continued to try and hit the High Elf. However, he continued to miss as the High Elf dodged and jumped. The other Nords began to close in. The High Elf could hear the women squealing with excitement. The High Elf confirmed to himself that there was a 6th man behind him and span around and grabbed the incoming fist. Using the Nord's momentum against him, he threw the Nord against the path wall. The Nords were taken aback by this. However, this did not stop their advances. The High Elf was feeling an energy that he had never felt before. He reached out and suddenly produced fire from his fists. This set fire to 2 men, and the others ran. The women screamed. He had won the fight, it seemed. However, the Nords he had set fire to were screaming on the ground, abandoned by their friends. The High Elf, alone with the 2 men in the middle of nowhere, had no idea what to do. However, as he went to pick up one of the men, he began, or so it seemed, to heal the Nords. All he had done is hope for their lives, and they had got stronger once again. Once they were back to their usual state, though unconscious, he carried them to his home on the cart he had supplies on. It took a long time, but he was home by dark. His mother ran out to him, confused. She saw the men and seemed to know what had happened. The High Elf had only set down the cart when his mother yelled at him to go inside. He could see the light of many torches in the distance and knew the Nords had run away for help, thinking he had killed the men. He went inside and grabbed his father's old sword, a katana. He had to use 2 hands due to its size. He was about to run out to his mother, but she told him to run and hide. He hid and watched. He could not hear a thing, but saw as his mother was confronted by a group of Stormcloak soldiers. They continued to stab his mother through the heart. The High Elf wanted to run out and fight, but he knew his mother would not want that. He ran. He ran for the hills. He turned and watched as he saw his house get burned to the ground. It was at this moment he knew he had to leave his past life. He was now no one. And because he was no one, he decided he would kill the person that put him in this position. He tracked down the Stormcloak murderer over the next few weeks. He followed the Stormcloak patrol for a long time. Soon he did not know where he was, but that didn't matter. Night came, and the Stormcloaks were eating a meal. The High Elf was approaching them slowly from cover, but suddenly an arrow flew past his head and hit one of the Stormcloaks. It was an Imperial ambush. The Stormcloaks were overrun rapidly, and they were sentenced. The High Elf did not know what to do. He wanted to kill the Nord, so he ran out just as the Imperials began to load the Stormcloaks onto the carts and stabbed the one through the heart. As he did this, he was surrounded by a group of Imperials and forced to the ground. This did not matter to the High Elf, as he was no one and he had achieved his goal. He was forced onto a cart, but watched as the Nord bled on the ground. This is where you take over, and the story of the High Elf is completed by you, because that's you're taken to Helgen. He follows the main story to get the Blade's armor, or if you have mods, the Akaviri armor with a face mask and thin leather hood. He uses the Ebony Blade as it is a 2-handed weapon, as well as Fireball, or as well as the strongest destruction and restoration spells you can use, which he learns as he becomes the Archmage of the College of Winterhold. He's an honourable spell sword. He isn't like other spell swords who favour one sword and a spell. Instead he uses the power of dual casting and the strength he can get behind a 2-handed katana. The skills this build uses Restoration, with the strongest healing spell, Destruction, with fire spells, which is also the long range offence, two-handed weapons, and heavy armor. It's a cool build, I hope you enjoy. If you have any suggestions for future builds, that'd be great if you could leave them below. Anyway, thanks for watching guys, this has been Trigger J, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks guys, and goodbye.